Hello. We are live. Hello and welcome to the WrestlePurists podcast. We are here today with myself, Montel, and I'm joined by Jack Murphy and soon to be Hollywood Hangman Adam Pearce, who is running a couple minutes late. Send him abuse on Twitter if you can. Tell him to hurry up and all that good stuff. He just told me he's just got home and he's just looking for his headphones, so he will be here very shortly. He's letting the team down. He is exactly 20 minutes late as it stands. So we're late, but it is what it is. Like I said, we're here to review Dynamite, and we'll talk about a few of the most recent topics, like Athena, some of these wrestlers getting COVID, and stuff like that. So yeah, let's. We might as well just get straight into it, and hopefully Hollywood pops in as we run about this first section.
I don't think he'd appreciate us talking about Dax and Cash without him though.
It's what makes it tough. It's what makes it tough.
It really makes
it tough. That is genuinely why I was waiting for him, to be honest. Like, I didn't say when we was in the waiting room then, but it's just like I didn't want to jump into Cash versus Dax without letting him, letting him jump in. So I think we'll start off with the COVID stuff. I think that would be fair.
Sure.
So yeah, back Hangman Adam Page, the real Hangman, he announced on Twitter not too long ago, yesterday, just before Dynamite, that he will be missing Dynamite because his face is full of COVID. It's not obviously meaning that he's unfortunately caught COVID. And it's not ideal, man, because obviously last week he just had his first interaction with CM Punk, and obviously that feud was about to get off to a start and something everyone was looking forward to. And now it looks like we're going to have to pump the brakes on it. Obviously, CM Punk done what he could last night, and he cut a bit of a promo. Dave Meltzer reported that the show had to be heavily rewritten, and so did Rampage, obviously. So yeah, hopefully he comes back. Your thoughts, Jack?
It's a shame because I believe that in-ring promo between the two to set up the match is going to be happening, and that would have been really great because Hangman's a very good babyface promo, and while Punk is also a babyface, Punk can play heel in that situation while getting Hangman over while keeping himself over as a babyface. I'm hard to describe, but it's really something that CM Punk can do. Yeah. And I think that would have been an awesome segment, and it's really a shame. And I hope that Hangman Page is okay. I know he has a young child and a wife, and I'd assume that he is vaccinated, considering how active he is in that. Mm-hmm. So I hope that Hangman Page is okay, and I hope that he's back soon, and I hope they can get this build started because Hangman Page versus CM Punk is a hell of a main event.
Yeah, definitely. And so we'll talk about Fuji getting COVID now because I think that's pretty much more your wheelhouse than mine.
It's a brutal one. I know a lot of people did not enjoy the Fujita beating Nakajima. And I understand for a development wise, but I'm a big fan of Fujita's matches. I really enjoy them. I think he works a style that very rarely do people use in Japan and even in the US. So I really enjoy Fujita's matches, and I was really excited for Fujita to go because the last one was so different because of the COVID restrictions and all the staring. And so I think that Fujita versus Shiozaki in Budokan with hopefully over more than 5,000 people there would be awesome. And it's a shame because I think that match would have been awesome, and it was going to be probably the best match on that show. So it's a shame, and I hope that Kaito Kiyomiya can wrestle Go Shiozaki, and they've had great matches before, so I'm not really worried about that. But I hope that Fujita is okay, and I hope for the best. So it's a shame, but it's Noah will move on, and there are a bunch of things on that show that I don't agree with, but Go Shiozaki versus Kaito Kiyomiya is hard not to agree with.
Okay, guys, we are finally joined by the man of the hour, the backup Hangman, and let's add him in right now.
There he is.
Yo, my dude. Fucking about time. What time did you call this, man?
My apologies, everybody. What's going on? What's up, everyone?
We're just talking about some of the wrestlers who have got COVID recently. We didn't want to jump into Dynamite without you because, of course, it kicks off with Cash versus Dax.
Oh, yeah.
We couldn't leave you out for that one. So
Of course. Yeah. So you guys are just talking about how COVID hit everyone, right?
So
Yeah, it's back. It's back. It's back with a
It's
bang.
it's tough, man. They wanted to do an angle with Hangman, which we'll talk about later, and they couldn't really do it. Fujita has it, and a lot of people are very curious. Some people find it to
come
be
on.
some people find the timing of it to be very dubious.
It's very convenient, isn't it?
Considering his history and his feelings on putting people over, but
I understand what you would think about that, but I think with the way that Japanese wrestling does business, I just can't fathom that happening, and it makes sense, of course, because Vegeta's a great wrestler, but also a great narcissist. So I understand it, but I think that it was just an unfortunate COVID, because I mean, why else would Noah be putting Kaito Kiyomi on a Budokan?
Yeah, I'm gonna give him the benefit of the doubt. It's just until we have, and we'll never know for sure. But yeah, the worst one is we're not gonna get to see Ospreay versus Tanahashi.
That's a brutal one. Ospreay versus Tanahashi is, and also Fujinami teaming with
Fujinami's gonna miss Dontaku. Yeah.
But considering the rumors that are going around about his replacement, that match may be even better with the replacement if it's one man who likes cola, as in Shima. Which would be really cool to see Shingo and Shima team, which is ridiculous as a Dragon Gate fan. That's
100%. I was gonna say, yeah,
that's unfathomable.
That's gonna be good. And at the end of the day, Ishii and Tanahashi is gonna be great too. And we haven't seen those guys wrestle in about 5 years.
Really,
it's been a minute.
It's been 5 years.
Jesus.
Ishii's usually in the opposite block, like
exactly
those years. Ishii would be in the block with Kenny, and Tanahashi would be in the A. It was usually Tanahashi was in the A block. So I mean,
yeah.
That makes sense. That match is awesome.
Those guys are great. They don't really miss. You don't even need to give them time to like think up a match. They just kind of just go and figure it out. I mean, dude, even last year Tanahashi, the second Shingo match, which was like a match of the year candidate. If you guys remember, that wasn't even supposed to happen. That was like a last second thing.
Yeah, I remember.
I really enjoyed that match. That was my the favorite of the two Shingo matches for me.
Same.
Really.
And to be honest with you, I'm not saying this to say that Kota Ibushi being hurt is a good thing at all, but I think for what the match was, I think that would have been the better match because we'd seen Shingo and Ibushi wrestle over the course. And Shingo Tana for the first time, there was really a big gap. So I really enjoyed that Shingo Tana match.
Yeah, it's Tana's special, man. To come in and provide that,
he's the man.
He's special. He really is genuinely.
Really think about that. Like just short notice, last second. Oh my God, we need a replacement main event, and this guy with all his physical injuries and his age just pulls a 5-star match out of his ass.
Just moonwalked in there.
There are very few Tana matches that don't baseline at like a 4-star match. I mean, it's hard for Tana
he's great.
A 4-star match at this point.
He's great.
And he knows his body, so he's not doing anything that like he knows he can't do. I mean,
that's the thing. Like he can take a minimalist approach in terms of like the offense he's doing, and it's still great.
Yeah, he's just so good at selling. Like he can do. He doesn't have to take crazy bumps to like really make you buy into his selling and stuff like that. He's just phenomenal. He genuinely is.
Yeah. By the way, how's my sound?
You sound good.
I mean, it's not ideal that you don't have your webcam, but with it, you're a coward, so it is what it is.
Listen, you know what? I'm not even gonna go into it. It is what it is. I'll take the L. I'll take the dunk.
Okay, so
do you want to go into that?
we covered everyone. Hangman's got COVID. We covered that. Vegeta's got COVID. We covered that. Ospreay's got COVID. We covered that. Ospreay one stings for me even more. I just hope he recovers quickly because I'm meant to be seeing him next month. So yeah, that could be that could get awkward. What was that?
Rev Pro?
Yeah, he's facing Suzuki, bro.
Ooh.
Facing Suzuki and Rev Pro, and you know, as soon as I saw the tickets go on sale, I bought them up straight away. So obviously, I'm hoping he makes that. It is the end of next month, so hopefully
you should be fine.
He should be, but COVID's a weird one, so you never know.
I think I'm going to see Ospreay wrestle for the third time ever. And I think I'm going to go to Forbidden Door, which is going to be really cool. So
fair.
Hopefully that card isn't just a bunch of tags, and I'm pretty sure it won't be.
It won't be. I don't think anyway. My guess is that they'll satisfy us. I think they'll satisfy us. To be honest,
I agree.
I'm not sure if they'll. It'll be the best matches, absolutely humanly possible. But we are gonna. I do think we'll get some top stars, single matches, and all that kind of stuff.
I agree.
The rosters are so vast that you can come up with like 4 cards worth of New Japan versus AEW cards.
Yeah,
you know
and they've
got
a lot.
AEW is not below New Japan, so I mean, like Noah guys beat New Japan in singles. I mean, yeah, it's kind of like I understand why New Japan wouldn't do that, but like AEW, especially in the US, is in a point of dominance. So I mean, I understand. I think it's a way different situation.
And it's just exactly. So it's just advantageous for New Japan to just play ball with them in terms of warming their brand up in the United States market, because New Japan to the States, like it was pretty hot a couple years ago, and it's not that level right now. And at the end of the day, if you want to kind of warm up, the fans to draw from are the AEW fans, and they're the brand that's really hot right now in the States.
The AEW fans were the fans that used to watch the New Japan shows in the US. I mean,
especially at the beginning, for sure.
When the Elite left, that's when it started to go downhill. And because I feel like it was more the Elite was the draw, especially because I mean, if you look at the events, like Kenny Omega was the draw for New Japan in the US. And when he left, I mean, they had Juice Robinson main event cards. It wasn't the same. Like it just wasn't going to be the same. Like
and that's nothing against Juice either.
Nothing against Juice, but I mean,
Juice is great, but he's not.
I think Juice himself would agree, that it's not. Yeah, and so for New Japan at this point, they really just should play ball, with AEW.
Yes,
no reason not to.
The only person I'd protect is Okada, honestly.
Of course, yeah.
Because he just has this allure about him.
But, I mean, if you remember, Montel, I said last week how the good thing about people like Ishii and Suzuki are they're surefire, they're beatable, and they're surefire great matches. And so those are guys you don't got to worry about. Like you said, Okada, you protect Okada. Naito, I would imagine Naito's he'll never take a pin in any of these shows, and that's fine. But
you can run those LIJ versus blank tag matches, and I think everyone's gonna be happy.
Mm-hmm. Definitely. It's the thing is I think Hollywood, like he alluded to it a bit about how like the depth of the roster definitely plays in both companies' favor, because again, like Hollywood alluded to, Suzuki, Ishii, and obviously on the AEW side, you've got all these top stars or top level in-ring workers that are definitely beatable. Even if it's just something, even if it isn't necessarily the top stars, like you could just throw like Buddy Murphy in there with, you could throw him in there with like anyone, pretty much any decent work from New Japan. It would be a good match.
It's gonna be good.
Yeah, and Buddy can take a pin. You know what I mean? Ishii can take a pin. Suzuki can take a pin.
Really, there's like about 10
guys. There's loads.
There's about 10 guys who on each roster that that can't not take a pin. Like if not, like something's coming in return. Like there are very few guys that like arrangements need to be made for them to make a pin.
Should we have a look at? Should we try and list who we think could not take a pin on one of these shows? So to start off, I'd say Okada, Hangman, Wardlow. They're not going to beat Wardlow on one of these shows, are they? Obviously, the stupid ones.
CM Punk shouldn't take a pin.
CM Punk,
ideally,
I think with CM Punk, a lot of people are talking about that Okada match, bro, and I think CM Punk. I think CM Punk winning. I think
Punk can lose to Okada.
But that's it, probably.
I was going to say, the only person. I feel like there's a list of guys who shouldn't take a pin, but only they can if they really have to, depending on like who they're facing. So
I think Danielson can do it, like Tanahashi.
I think
Danielson can take a pin.
Yeah, Danielson can take a pin.
Same with Tanahashi.
Who else? There isn't that many, really.
Not that many, yeah.
It's like there's Moxley, but I think he's going to lose one eventually because he's been beating everyone.
If Kenny's coming back, he should not lose a pin. If it's Kenny's first match, he shouldn't lose. He should win. If it's his first match back.
I think Kenny Omega is the only person Okada should lose to if they face.
I agree.
Yeah, Kenny Omega definitely shouldn't be losing.
I think they're going to do it. I think Kenny Omega will be in a tag match. I think it'll probably be Kenny in the box versus. That's a tough one, but I don't think Kenny's going to win the match.
It looks like Ospreay is really angling to face Omega at this show.
Then do Kenny, Matt, and Nick versus Ospreay, Cobb and O'Con, or Ospreay and Aussie Open.
I don't know what Kenny Omega's status is. It seems like Ospreay wants to face him at this show.
If anyone can come back and have a great singles match on their first show back, it's Kenny Omega.
Yeah, for sure. But what I'm getting at is, if Omega's ready, he'll probably face Ospreay. And even if he's not, I think he should appear on the show.
Of course. I think he could be the closing angle.
He should appear in some capacity.
I'm not sure. Yeah, I think Kenny Omega may make his return in an angle at the end of the show or something like that. I don't really see him wrestling on the show, to be honest.
Okada versus Blank in the main event, and Kenny confronts Okada afterwards. Set up the next Forbidden Door show, wherever that may be.
What about... Oh, Ashley's going to hate this, but...
No, boy.
Adam Cole called out Okada. That's something that could probably main event and give Okada the win. And of course, if Okada beats Adam Cole, he kind of gives them a way to do that.
I'm convinced Montel hates me.
I'm not saying I'm hoping for it. I'm not that big on Adam Cole either.
You want Forbidden Door to be main evented by Adam Cole and Okada.
I don't want that.
I'm putting it on record that that's your suggested main event. I'm
just saying that is how they could get there.
That's crazy, bro.
That's what Jack Murphy wants. That's what Jack Murphy wants. So,
bro, Adam Cole.
It's tragic. Awesome. By the way, Murph, where are you?
I'm in my basement.
Why is it so blue? Fair. Holy shit. Yeah, you guys have all these perfect setups to just record this. I'm like looking around my house. Dude, I'm looking around. Bro, I'm looking around my house right now. And I'm like,
I'm balancing this on a bunch of Xbox games on a box.
Dude, yo, no joke, right? Before I hopped in, because I didn't want to be too late, right? But I legit, right? I can't, I'm downstairs, right, in my house. And I'm like, where could I even fucking record if I was able to, right? And I had I tested out my laptop's webcam, and I literally looked like just a black blob on the screen. And the crazy part was the lighting was dog shit. And I pulled out like 3 textbooks and put my laptop on that, and I was like, okay, so that's the level it would have to be at. And then I was like, damn, I need lighting. And I come in this podcast, and you got Montel with this beautiful white clean background, some weird natural light. I don't know where that light's coming from, because I know UK don't got natural sunlight. So
I got ring light, bro.
Yeah, what do you say?
This is no ring light.
Holy smokes! See, that's what I'm saying. Like, where does this? I know that wasn't natural, because y'all don't get sunlight. And then we got Murph. Murph is in like the blue zone.
Yeah, well,
you lucky bastard. I'm gonna have to step my game up. Listen, but when I'm ready, I'm gonna top both of y'all, because I'm gonna get a WrestlePurists banner, right? And I'm gonna hang it on my wall, a fucking WrestlePurists banner, and talk about
2.0.
2.0, yeah, 2.0.
Should we jump into Dynamite then?
Let's get it.
Let's get it, man. Right, so the show opens with the match I think most people were most anticipating for this show, to be honest. Probably a match we've never seen before, a match that we'll never see again. Cash Wheeler versus Dax Harwood in the Owen Hart tournament qualifiers. I think it was exactly what the people were expecting. The people that were excited for it definitely got their. I feel like it's fair to say that they were satisfied by it.
Yeah.
What's your take, Hollywood? What's your breakdown of the match?
Oh my goodness, this was just a gorgeous exhibition of classical, Hart family tinged professional wrestling. I think everybody called it. Everyone knew they were going to do a lot of Brett and Owen stuff. Everybody knew it was going to be that type of thing. And I just thought from start to finish, this was just tremendous. They come out together, which is just really unique. Yeah, they come out together. They're wearing the pink and black. They're doing these like traditional pro wrestling sequences that you see in the openings of like matches, but they're doing it at like 1.5 speed, where it's like headlock, side headlock, takeover, leg scissors, escape, headlock again, swing down. They're doing that shit like super freaking fast. And I mean, God, like it just, there's not much really to say about it other than the fact that the work is so sharp. It's just so textbook in every way. Like Dax's superplex, like all of it.
Every time Dax hits that superplex, man. Every time. Probably the best in the business of that superplex, which is weird because
I'm so glad that they're showcasing themselves. FTR, that is, because in my opinion, I've always thought that FTR, like, no joke, I didn't have a Twitter 3 years ago, but I was of the belief that these guys are the best tag team in the world, like since NXT. That was always my opinion.
Come on.
And I swear to God, I'm dead serious. And I've stayed consistent.
No, I'm not talking to you. I'm talking to you. They put a comment on screen that I'm in the room that Edge and Priest are in. I thought that was
believe yours is.
I thought it was purple.
Bro,
I thought it was purple.
Fucking theme song.
I thought
the other star.
It's the intro, bro. That's the worst part about it. If you're being serious,
won't you reach the other side?
When he's like, just that intro, man, it's so bad. Like, I feel like
nah. Yo, that's the permanent gag now. Murph is in Judgment Day.
That's doing a monologue.
Yo,
I'm gonna get real close and like go.
Yeah, right. You gotta come in now and play some Alter Bridge, bro. I don't even. What was I saying?
Should I get I saw a GIF of this. Is it true? There's a chair that like moves. That's just new.
Yeah. So now what they got like Edge on this like kind of this like throne chair, right? And clearly there's wheels underneath, right? But the camera's just shooting Edge from like the torso up, and so all you see on screen is like Edge is just floating forward, right? And what's it called? Priest is like next to him, and like his hair is blowing in the wind, and it's like supposed to be cool, but like it's just kind of funny because like
the first week Cody was there, they had the portable Cody Vader.
Yeah,
a giant black box with a ram.
I feel like they should like hash it out before giving you the beta version of the entrance on TV, because clearly it was like the beta version of the entrance.
They had him in a black box.
And then just raised them up. Yeah, and so they just gave up on that, and then the next week it just became
pyro.
Yeah, it's like he walks through pyro. But to get back to the match, look, the bottom line is this: I'm so glad that FTR is able to just show how fantastic they are, because I've been of the belief that they've been the best for years, like maybe 6 years now, right? And I'm so glad, because 2021 was a very much just a subdued year for them, and they were it felt like bit players, but now they're really kind of showing just how great they are. And I think the fans now, people knew how good they were, but now it feels like the fans kind of give them the respect as great workers, which is why they get star reactions now. And I'm watching Midway, and I'm like, yo, Dax Harwood is just flat out one of the best wrestlers in the world.
He's like gotten to like 4th on my Wrestler of the Year list. It's quite.
He's having a killer year. It's insane. I wouldn't be opposed to him winning the whole tournament.
No, at this point,
honestly,
It's why not? He loves the Hart family enough. Might as well.
I had 3. There were 3 spots in this match that really stood out to me. The superplex, which we touched on. It was a double off the ropes and then into like a I don't know, it's like a double cross body. Do you remember this spot?
Yeah. Yes, I do.
That spot. And then Dax had this Liger bomb off the rebound off the ropes.
Jesus Christ.
Which just looked sick. It was just the coolest.
Every time it does. I loved it. I think it was towards the start of the match, and obviously it was very respectful and everything. Then Dax accidentally pokes Cash in the eye. Yeah, I love that spot. I loved it.
I thought that match was just it was something that hadn't been seen to me in AEW before, except for there was one match that was similar that I liked a little more, which was
I know what you're gonna fucking say.
MJF and Darby Allin at
never mind.
At Full Gear, which I thought was a similar match layout wise, a little longer, but I liked that match a little bit more just because I thought the work was better in that match. But this Cash vs. Dax match isn't a match you'll see on American television very often. It was phenomenal. Story was great. Everything was awesome. It was a thumbs up for me. Easy.
100%. I also want to toss out that I love 80s style wrestling gear in general. I just really enjoy it. Like I love taped fists. I love just the old school knee pads and wrestling boots from like the 80s with the crisscross crisscross shoelaces. I just love that look. And so like when everyone has these everybody now, I feel like they all like so many people now, they just wear the bootleg AJ Styles tights and stuff. And it gets kind of, I don't know, this kind of blends in. So I don't know. I just like watching people with that throwback gear. MJF has old school gear, FTR's gear yesterday with the Bret Hart kind of colors. It looked really nice. But yeah, man, this is as good as it gets when it comes to
my favorite part about Hangman is the fact that he can love 80s style wrestling and go into that tangent while also being an avid NXT 2.0 watcher. It's just the duality.
Is there a duality there? Is there a duality?
It's awesome to me. Like I just find it so great.
I have pretty I don't know if anybody's noticed this. I have pretty broad wrestling taste.
Yeah,
like I can wake up and I actually did this the other day. I could just wake up and I watched a bunch of like 1979 Tatsumi Fujinami because I just felt like it. And then I turned around and then I think I was just like watching like Mark Henry segments from like 2006.
But honestly, I love sports. I like, you know what I love, and
sports entertainment is fire.
I love shitty sports entertainment too.
It's hilarious.
It's the best. I mean, like I can appreciate the love of wrestling and everything, AEW, all the promotions, but also like my friends coming up to me at school on Monday after WrestleMania and saying, "Yo, Stone Cold stunnering Pat McAfee and Vince, that was so awesome." I'm like, that segment was awesome.
WrestleMania was elite comedy wrestling. Like
the Sami Zayn Johnny Knoxville match is probably, I'm not even kidding, my favorite WWE match of the year. My brother stopped watching wrestling a couple of years ago, and he his philosophy on the business is just he prefers the entertainment and spectacle side to professional wrestling. My dad's like that because we were watching Dynamite and we were watching Cash and Dax, and my dad was like, "This match is for someone who really likes wrestling." and this is the same dad that says, "Why isn't Luchasaurus bigger than he is?" So I mean, you got he likes big. My dad likes big guys that can talk.
That's the thing. So that's the thing. My brother has that mindset, right? He's real into the spectacle and the entertainment and all that type of stuff. Even though he enjoys work rate, like he loves Prime NXT.
Same with my dad.
He stopped
on the AEW for a reason.
And so he stopped watching wrestling a couple of years ago, right? And it's just funny to see his perspective because he's not like deep in anymore. He's watching Mania with me, right? And like he is loving, Pat McAfee and Theory, for example. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, I don't even know how I got on this tangent. Oh, you were saying how you love my just broad
taste.
Great.
You put him over. You shouldn't put him over because he's late.
This is a Noah scoop. I'm gonna check it.
I am late. I'm terrible. I gotta.
But yeah, to touch on the point quickly before we move on with Dynamite. WrestleMania really was WWE staying in their lane. You know what I'm saying?
Doing it well.
Doing the celebrities, doing the fun matches, bringing the Stone Cold back,
the pageantry, all that.
Yeah, of course. Obviously, with it being WrestleMania, the pageantry. We actually have a feature on the website by our friend Joe, who not Joe Hall, but another Joe. He's a good lad.
Yeah, I don't.
So could we just take a quick break? Diego in the chat just alerted me to this Noah scoop. This is some of the most ridiculous shit I've ever seen in my life.
Go ahead.
Is it confirmation that Fujita does not have COVID?
Fujita was furious at the decision to strip him from the title. He was set to hold the title until to the July Budokan show. The working plan was Fujita and Muto. And due to Muto being hurt, the plan for Budokan was Fujita versus versus the man on loan from DDT, Jun Akiyama.
Wow.
They believe that Nakajima no longer drew tickets, so they needed to put Fujita and Muto, and now that was blown up, it was Fujita. And basically, Fujita was set to beat Kaito Kiyomiya and Kano in short and dominant fashion to get to July Budokan.
Why do they hate wrestlers that aren't 50 plus? Like, that's crazy. That is crazy.
Job news.
Nasawa is he's 2010 Eric Bischoff.
He's a Mark Booker. And also, to the news, Hideki Suzuki refused to job for Katsuka Nakajima. And it was supposed to be a 30-minute draw.
Yo.
But apparently X is going to be like a big name.
Listen, man. Carnyism.
Apparently the Fujita match has not been announced in writing, the replacement. And it still may be. Fujita is pushing for an interim championship, which is still on the table.
This is insane.
This Noah shit is as bad as it's said. It's fucking. Oh my god!
It's unreal, man. Listen,
they're bringing in Jun Akiyama to DDT to main event their Budokan show just because he's a name.
I don't mind
Jun Akiyama doing. Awesome.
I don't mind Akiyama doing a.
I love Akiyama. It's like my favorite wrestler of all time.
More Jun is not a bad thing.
Jun Akiyama versus Kazuchika Fujita would be fucking awesome. But beating two of your biggest stars in short, dominant fashion to get there.
Dominant fashion. What is this, early 2017 WWE? Like,
bro, just
it's insane.
And this is the same booker that brings in Mil Mascaras twice a year for COVID for his Wrestle Carnival shows that drew like 100 people. This guy is a mark.
I have to confess though, even though people hate like politicians and carnies in wrestling.
Oh, it's awesome. It's funny.
It's hilarious. Like, it's just mad fun.
It's hilarious.
It's
if
hilarious.
This was like a promotion I was like invested in,
yeah,
pissed. But like, I just see Noah as like fucking bullshit wrestling in the corner, and like honestly, just seeing that guy, like the wrestling snob, like is honestly just worth it.
Could you guys imagine, like, Montel? Could you imagine if AEW had like politics problems? Like, could you just imagine if like
it don't even make. The thing with Noah, it's like it don't even make sense. Like, it can't be that. Why is it still such a big deal to them, man? Like, I don't get it. Like, what are they trying to do? They're trying to build up the star power to do what? Like, you're 50, 60-year-old guys.
It's not like it's the 90s. It's not like it's the It's not like it's the 90s and the Japanese public doesn't fully know what shoot fighting looks like. So like wins and losses are so important because like you kill the drawing power and credibility of guys who job. It's not like that anymore. You know what I mean? Like that made sense in the 90s. Like Hashimoto was seen as like an actual badass, and then when Naoya Ogawa just beat the shit out of him, like legitimately, he was never the same because the Japanese public were like, wow, this guy's a pussy. But like, it's a totally different business now. We know what mixed martial arts looks like. Like Noah's not like one of the top promotions in Japan in terms of drawing houses. So Fujita just like, it doesn't make sense. It's very selfish. It's illogical that the booker is going along with this. And it's a mess, but it's also
sorry for hijacking our Dynamite report for this, but I mean, I think it was just worth it.
Yeah, I feel like it was fair. It was a scoop,
It's a scoop. Murphy Select.
I thought it was Murphy Ringside News because I was sending Dave Meltzer. I thought because I was sending Dave Meltzer emails from Ringside.
That's hilarious. Do you so what were you gonna say, Montel? You wanted to make a point about the opener.
Okay, let's go now.
I forgot where we was. All that Noah stuff is just completely.
Yeah.
Okay, we're on.
Bottom line. Listen, bottom line. The opener was great, and awesome. to me, I think the first three things that happen on this Dynamite is as good as wrestling TV is going to get in this year, because it's like you go from that great match to CM Punk cutting just an awesome promo. Like I thought this promo was so good, and we go from that to the Blackpool Combat Club. Like this, it was just like, it's like super front loaded with just the best ongoing stuff in AEW right now.
I don't think we need to spend too much time on Punk's promo because there's not really much that's been
It's
said.
great.
Punk's promo was awesome.
The only thing I'd want to say about the Punk promo is that it was fascinating to me. Well, not so much fascinating, it just popped me. Like how, like as soon as CM Punk got up from the commentary desk, like that place came up for him.
He's the man.
Yeah, man. Like they really came up for him. Like they're showing the graphic, I think, and then CM Punk grabbed the mic and started walking towards the ring, and the crowd went crazy for it.
Yes, sir.
They just love him, man. It's gonna be fun to see what side the crowd chooses in different cities.
People are predicting, Monzel. People are saying that like, oh, because Punk was so respectful and babyface like, they're like, oh, he's definitely gonna turn. And what's the weird thing, man? Like, Punk is tremendous at being a heel. We've seen it in the past. We know how great he is at doing it.
He's so good as babyface right now.
But I was gonna say, like, almost I'll be a mark and just say, like, I don't want to boo Phil right now. I want him to be nice. Like I like seeing him happy and successful and doing well in this return to wrestling. Like I don't necessarily want him to, because for me, right? I don't know if maybe this is off base, but I think that for Punk to be a heel, he almost has to channel all the bitterness inside of him from towards the wrestling business and just kind of put it out there on TV. No, think about this. Think about this. Like it feels like it has to come from a real place within himself, and I feel like making him heel would make him have to drum up all the negativity that he's kind of like overcome towards the business. Like think about this: 2013 Punk, like him being a heel when he was bald and had Heyman with him, like a lot of what he was saying was just his natural just bitterness towards wrestling, bro. Like his promos about the glass ceiling in the company and being undervalued and all that shit, like. I don't know. I don't want Punk to get back to that place. I don't. Maybe I'm being a good boy.
I think the thing is with Punk, so you don't want to boo Phil right now, Punk.
I don't. Because I really don't.
No, but that's because that's what Punk wants you to feel. Punk is that good. If he wants you to boo him, bro, give him a couple weeks.
No, he'll make it work.
He'll make you hate him.
Remember how good he was in Long Island at getting booed.
Yeah. Exactly.
Back there
oh no, yeah. Don't get me wrong. If CM Punk puts his mind to it that you're gonna fucking hate me, he'll do it. We like the Eddie Kingston. We got a taste of it with the Eddie Kingston match. And speaking of which, because he took another subtle jab at him today, man. Bottom line, look, Hangman Page is tremendous. He is just an absolute just stud.
It's time.
But I don't know, man. They got a lot of Chicago shows coming up. Eddie Kingston is just one of the best talents in AEW, man. Fun. I just feel like CM Punk and Eddie Kingston could headline a pay-per-view at this point and beat the living.
Full gear to Double or Nothing is a good run. He had some great matches. He main evented some big shows.
I mean, realistically, he's so great. He could go for another year, and I wouldn't be opposed to it.
But Punk's too good.
Punk is too good. He's too hot. Punk is not going to be here 5 years from now. Hangman Page will. Yeah. I just. Like, man, Danielson's red hot right now. Punk is red hot. I want to see.
This is the best work of Punk's career. I can say that now. I know other people will disagree, but in the ring,
not in ring. No, it's weird.
For me, when he faced MJF at the pay-per-view, that crossed the line for me.
You know how I would explain CM Punk right now. He is not physically and athletically right. He is not as quick or as explosive as he was when he was younger, and even at his prime, he was not known to be an athlete.
He doesn't need to be.
So hear me out. That's what I'm saying. He's not like in that sense. He's not what he was 10 years ago, but I think that his wrestling brain has expanded further, and in an AEW where he gets to play his music his way, you get to see just even more of his own personal touches to wrestling that you didn't even see in WWE because things had to be a bit more patterned with wrestling. And I think that coupled with the fact that like he's really getting to just tell his stories his way, and you are getting some of the best CM Punk stuff you ever got. I think creatively, this is the best Punk when it comes to the storylines. Because my God, like the Eddie Kingston stuff, and then you follow that up with MJF, Chef's Kiss. It really doesn't get much better than that. And we're just scratching the surface, bro. Like I'm telling you, I think it's just a great opportunity with all the Chicago shows coming up. Eddie Kingston's waiting in the wings. We have to see Bryan Danielson and CM Punk wrestle again. It's bittersweet to do it because Hangman's doing so well right now. But I just think this is a great chance to give CM Punk the championship.
And I think with Kenny coming back, I think you can always get down. You can you can put Hangman back into
Christ. It's just a gold mine. It's just a gold mine right now of stuff.
It's easy. It's really easy as well. Like
and quite frankly,
the thing I like, just one real quick, but
yeah,
the main thing I like about CM Punk and Hangman is that it really is a win-win situation for the company.
Yes,
because I've said it with Joe before. Joe said it in the past as well. Like if Hangman beats Punk, he's the ace. All hail, he's the ace, undisputed. He's the man in AEW. And if Punk wins, all hail again. Punk's fucking world champion. You know, let's fucking go. So yeah, it's just interesting. It'll be interesting, especially when the day comes. What everyone's predictions will be.
Can you guys believe this? That if Punk were to win this championship, right, it would be the first time in his entire career, as long as his career has been, it would be the first time in his career that he'd be the top guy of a promotion, holding the belt, legitimately pushed and presented as a top guy, as a babyface. As a babyface specifically.
That's crazy.
Think about that. Think about that.
I think he should have. I'm trying to recall.
Ring of Honor, he was a heel. WWE, when he was a babyface and had the long reign, he was always number 2 to John Cena.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
There's no part-timers to be number 1 in this promotion.
Yeah, if CM Punk gets the belt here, they're not going to half-ass it and, like, you know, let him have the belt, but he's not really the guy. No, he'll be the guy. And it would be deserved and earned.
I think Punk should have beaten Taker at 29 personally. I still have been very confident in that. I love Brock. Brock's one of my favorites of all time. I think Punk should have won that match and went baby afterwards. But I mean,
I said this like a month ago. It was right around like when Punk had the match with Dax. I always already felt this, but this is just cement. It's like, dude, CM Punk was already one of the best ever to me, in my opinion, when he like was just gone from the business. And it's just insane to me how much he's augmenting and adding to his legacy right now.
He's like him and Tana are very similar to me right now.
CM Punk is
I like that comparison. I like that comparison a lot.
He is just one of the best of all time. I don't care who I got to put him over or under or what. I just know that when I think of who are the greatest wrestlers of all time, when it comes to their mind for the business, how they approach it, their mentality,
CM Punk.
CM Punk is there. He's in that class. I don't care how big the class has to be or small or what, if it's a top 10, 20, 25. I don't give a shit. He's there. He's better than Masawa. I fucking said it. Next topic.
We will move on now because we have talked this a lot. So backstage promo with Scorpio Sky and Dan Lambert cut a promo for the main event later on tonight. I usually do like it when they do this stuff. The content of the promo was a pretty basic promo. There wasn't anything amazing or offensive about it. But I like it when they do these promos and these little segments to hype up the main event.
You know what my favorite part is?
Go ahead.
I was just gonna reference that.
Love that. That pops me every time.
Fine.
I'm surprised Murph pulled that off pretty cleanly. He didn't botch it. Like that was smooth.
Fair.
It's because he has the Edge lore powers now, man. He has the fucking.
But yeah, obviously we won't talk about it too much. Because there wasn't too much to say. It was just it was good that they did it. So next we have Blackpool Combat Club defeating the Factory.
Oh boy, this is great.
4.75 stars.
See, you really enjoyed that. I didn't think it was anything. I don't think there was anything wrong with it. I preferred the match last week a lot. I preferred the last.
Oh no, yes,
the match last week a lot more.
Yes, that was better because their opponents were better. You know what?
It wasn't. I think. What did you give it, Hollywood? You give it like 3 3/4.
3 3/4. And let me explain. Here's the thing. Here's the thing with BCC pounding men. You know, when it comes to BCC just pounding men. When it comes to BCC pounding groups of men on Dynamite on live television, the reason why it's always great is because it's just them getting their shit off, and their stuff is great. You know what I mean? It's literally no rest. Everybody's just going in to do their moveset, and like their moves are just so good that like it's good. You know, like that's just the bottom line with it.
Brian will always kick the absolute shit out of somebody as well.
Yes,
because that's what he does.
And honestly, I'm gonna be honest with you. This feels like the spiritual successor in a way. They're very different. So remember when Moxley, Darby,
Kingston and Darby
Kingston have this awesome, just fun tag match,
party matches? Yeah.
Spot. Like they would be announced like 10 minutes before the show starts. It'd be like 5 minutes altogether, but just like would get the crowd crazy.
Yes,
like, it's really the entrances almost like this is weird to say, but like make the match. I mean,
yeah,
you have Danielson coming out like pops. He does his little play in. I mean, Wheeler Yuta's got the slick new music, the slick new video.
He has a new Titantron.
It looked awesome. And then you have Moxley, who has the best entrance in wrestling. So, I mean,
yeah, they feel like rock stars.
It feels like them just coming in, taking care of business, sending the crowd home. It feels like just awesome.
It's great.
It should be on every show. Like
I totally agree. Yeah. I was gonna say when I first saw the Dynamite card, like before they added this, I got itchy because like I was like, where's the BCC match?
They never get announced more than like 20 minutes before the show, though.
Yeah, I get hives when I find out that Danielson's not on Dynamite. Like I need
Yeah, we need him.
Yes, and not for like other wrestlers, I can tolerate. Like there's wrestlers that I just want to see them on the show. It doesn't have to be wrestling or or talking. It could be either or. Like MJF, I don't need him wrestling, but I want him just on. And CM Punk is similar.
You know who I want to see wrestling?
Who? Adam Cole. A stuff for a lot. But anyway, so what I was gonna say is,
anyways,
the thing is with Danielson, I specifically want him to wrestle for at least 5 minutes every week.
Just get his shit in. Get his shit in and leave.
Fair. Yeah.
Next was a promo by the let me get this one.
I just want to quickly say that Regal on commentary.
Oh, this is the best.
He's just beautiful. Beautiful. My favorite person in all of wrestling, maybe.
And seeing him do the American accent was just killing me.
That was last week, wasn't it? Yeah.
Yeah, that was last week. I just saw it like a couple days ago.
Regal comes off as a guy
at the show, wasn't it?
Regal just comes off as a guy who's like potentially inebriated, sitting on commentary, just like gushing over how awesome his team is. And Jim Ross is just like, yeah, they are fucking great. It's just
imagine being Regal. He goes from having to watch like Saray and Lash Legend matches to this.
He's so nice on commentary as well. Like he was putting over the guys in the factory. He wasn't there just drooling over the Blackpool Combat Club.
It's the NXT mindset. It's just. I think it's the NXT mindset of just like, all these people are prospects and you have to try to get them over.
Yes.
So
fair. Okay,
yeah, man. Regal's the best commentator in AEW.
He's more, like I said, he's genuinely probably my favorite person in all of wrestling. I just fucking adore the guy.
I love the bit on commentary. I love the bit on commentary where like Jim Ross and Regal are gushing over Danielson. And then Regal says like he's everything I wish I could have been, and Jim Ross is basically just like, man, you were damn good too. And he's like, I forgot what he said, but he was just like,
I remember this. Yes,
he said but he's like the greatest. And Jim Ross was like, why am I botching this? I forgot the exact line. I typed it out. The bottom line is like Regal was like Danielson's goated though, and Jim Ross is just like facts. Like so, it was great.
Slam dunk the segment.
Yeah.
Those first 35 minutes of Dynamite were just it was sensational.
Then we moved on to the best part of the first 35 minutes, which is a Tony Schiavone interview with Dr. Britt Baker, DMD, Tony Storm, and Davey Hayter.
This was, there wasn't anything bad or offensive about it. The only thing I didn't like was that it was basically the exact same thing as last week, but with Ruby.
Yeah. What I said about it was
on the stage.
Yeah, what I said about it was because I actually really like Ruby Soho's speaking bit in this because Britt kind of went to the usual semi-lazy material of just like making fun of like their failures in WWE, and Ruby kind of got up and kind of just bitch slapped her verbally.
Her fire is just very insane.
And the last time I remember seeing Ruby even speak was the segment on the Rampage taping in Newark where she also at that show had a great promo with Britt Baker.
That was great, yeah.
And so I'm just sitting here. I'm like, man, Ruby Soho is a really comfortable, good speaker. She's a good TV performer. Go ahead. Yeah, I thought she was great there. But aside from Ruby, when it comes to like the Toni Storm and her tension with like the DMD clique, I would have liked to see them switch up the scenery because like it just the visual of Tony Schiavone backstage with them is like really samey
on the stage. I would have done
do it on the stage or something. And the last thing I'll say about these ladies is I forgot who suggested it. It might have been Lee Moriarty who retweeted the suggestion, but I would like when the Owen starts, I would like a commencement ceremony in the ring. Like they do in Japan for tournaments, where all the competitors are in the ring. It would just make it feel prestigious.
Tournaments at once.
What the ceremony, right?
It'd be a cool visual.
Yeah, what you could do is
you could do the entrances like you know how they sometimes play the entrances for the show like 5 minutes before the show, like on YouTube.
Yeah,
you play them each coming out individually like 5 minutes before the show, and then they start with them in the ring.
Yeah, and then you just do the ceremony. Cool. You could have a draping banner of Owen or something, maybe the trophy in the ring, flowers, whatever you want to do. Martha Hart. Why can I not say that name?
I don't think she'll show up till Vegas though.
Oh, I was gonna say because you could have her. You could have perhaps maybe her, an AEW official, and Tony Khan in the ring with Schiavone, and the trophy and all the competitors, and it's really classy and nice looking in the ring. You got maybe a red canvas or no, actually a pink canvas would be better. Just make it classy, make it feel. I would like the presentation of the tournament matches and the tournament itself to look more enhanced than a Dynamite. Now, I have my doubts that they're gonna go that far because they normally, just like WWE, unfortunately, with modern wrestling, they just don't really switch up their presentation no matter what's happening. Unfortunately, but like in a perfect world, I mean, damn, could you imagine if like the ring canvas for their matches had like, I don't know, it was just pink with like an Owen Hart logo in it or something, or just something, a presentation touch that's subtly different from like the rest of the TV.
Because you just want it to feel special, you know.
Yeah, give me a pink middle rope.
Yeah, I was saying to Joe, look, I hope with the Owen Hart, because obviously I've kind of got this. These worries came from how they've done the qualifier so far. I don't want the Owen Hart tournament to just feel like a Dynamite with different graphics on. I want them to more tap into. So, like with New Japan, when New Japan do the G1 Climax, you get it's G1 Climax season. It has a different feel to it. The shows are kind of different. It just has, it has a different feel to it. It's not just it's not just a New Japan show with different titles to the matches.
Montel, we've had eliminator tournaments. We've had tournaments on TV. Yeah. So like let's differentiate this, especially if you want this to be an annual thing that people look forward to. I feel like there has to be something in the presentation to make it look different, to make people look forward to seeing that presentation every year. Whether it be pink lights in the ring, or whether it be pink turnbuckles or pink ropes or a pink canvas or whatever you want to do. Something in the presentation to make it differentiated from everything else and special and important that you're only going to get annually.
Yeah.
That's what we're hoping for. That's what we're hoping. It just needs to feel different. It doesn't have to, it's not like they have to go above and beyond. Obviously, it'd be amazing if they did, but we just want it to feel different. So next in the show, we had backstage interview with Jurassic Express and Christian Cage.
I liked this.
Yeah, it was. I like how Christian kind of snapped at Jungle Boy, told him to put his belt back over his shoulder.
The loser line, I really enjoyed that. You're not just a sore loser; you're just a loser.
Yeah,
really love that.
So it's good to build that. It's good to build that tension. Then we got Ricky Starks and Powerhouse Hobbs. They come into the front.
Let me channel Christian real quick.
Okay. Oh my! This man brought out. He has the blue background. He has props. This man.
What is going on?
Dude, this is my basement. I had a kazoo.
This is insane.
I'll play it and it'll be the show on the TV with my friends. I'll play Xbox. And
this guy Murph is gonna pull a ladder out for the last segment and just like jump off it. He's gonna stop or something.
He's gonna do Sammy Guevara.
He's gonna do 6:30 after the fucking concrete.
What the fuck that was that he done yesterday.
I don't have anyone that looks like Ty Conti down here, sadly.
True. Yeah, she looked sensational yesterday.
You don't have Ty Conti in your basement.
What is Judgment Day?
Judgment Day is the name of Edge's stable.
Did you know? How did you not know, bro?
You're messing with me, right?
No. Judgment Day is the name of Edge's stable. They clearly didn't want to create a new trademark, so they were like, all right, we have this one.
Judgment Day.
Yes. And Damian Priest is labeled the punishment, the guy who delivers the punishment for
that's actually real clever. I really like that.
Because he's Punishment Martinez. So
okay, so yeah.
What were we talking about?
Dynamite. Let's stay on track.
Yeah. Especially since I got limited time. But it's not. I wanted to say, man, Jurassic Express feel like such a non-entity on their own show. You know, they don't feel like the tag champs. They don't feel like the best tag team in the promotion. They don't feel like they really particularly matter. Nor do they feel like, not even feel, they're just not one of the better things on the show currently for me. Yeah. This is my opinion, and it's not even anything against Jungle Boy, because they're fine wrestlers. But when it came on, all I thought was, these guys are they're kind of lame right now, and this was only accentuate when they ended up sharing screen time with Ricky Starks and Powerhouse Hobbs, two guys who are infinitely cooler. With that said, though, I don't know if I want Starks and Hobbs to win the tag titles. I don't know if they are. I don't think they are either.
And to be honest with you, I disagree on Jurassic Express and what you think. I think they've had great matches, and I really can't ask for more. I mean, the Act is a dinosaur and a boy dressed like Tarzan. I mean, I don't know how cool they can get, but I think their matches are great, and I can't really ask for more. And Christian's awesome, so I mean, I'm chilling.
My thing is just to touch on Hollywood's point. It's. Yes, they've had good matches. They have good matches. They haven't really done anything wrong, to be honest. It's just that Hollywood did mention it. They're not the best tag team in the promotion. And of course, after a reign with the Young Bucks, who then dropped it to the Lucha Brothers, who were red hot at the time. It's a tough one, because especially with AEW, with the way they approach tag team wrestling, you genuinely do want to feel like the best tag team in the world is the AEW Tag Team Champions. You can have that feeling with FTR. You can have that feeling with the Bucks. I'm not sure about right now, but you could have that feeling with the Lucha Brothers. And there is only a small handful of teams you could do that with. Then to put it on Jurassic Express, I know that people, they're over. They are over, regardless of what people say about them. They are over, at least. And they do have fine matches. They do have good matches, but it's hard to be tag team champ in a company. Yeah, it's hard to be tag team champ in a company when you've got the Bucks, FTR, etc.
Yeah, it's tough because FTR's on the same shows, just having like killer matches all the time.
FTR will win at Double or Nothing. I think FTR will win on Double or Nothing.
Do you know what's beginning to occur to me, guys? What? I'm noticing a lot of Year One AEW acts. I feel like a lot of them are beginning to just naturally reach the end of their lifespan. Can you
elaborate on that?
Sure. A lot of Year One AEW acts, in my opinion, it's almost like they're reaching their natural end before your eyes, and Tony's either noticing it and like just ending the acts, or you're just seeing them actively spin their wheels. Inner Circle ended because it was time for Inner Circle to end, but a couple other acts, like the Best Friends, they're beginning to kind of crumble apart, and it was just time. I think it's one of those things where the time and the roster and just the way the company's going, it's just passing Year One AEW by, in my opinion. Like
I think it's unfair to say that the tag team champion is getting passed by. I think that you can say that he's not going to be as important as he was when if Jungle Boy becomes a singles act. But I think it's unfair to say that he's been for the Best Friends. I understand what you're saying. I do. I think the Best Friends will always have a place in AEW because Orange Cat.
When I mean passed by, I just mean that like no. I'm not saying these guys should be like gotten rid of. I just think it's one of those things where like you move on from that act and you take these talents in a different direction is what I'm saying. Because, like, for example, I thought it was time for the Inner Circle to go. I don't think Santana and Ortiz should be gone. Their union with Kingston is great. Yeah. And so that's what I'm saying. So with all these talents, I don't have issues with them, nor do I think that they should be gone. I think what I'm saying is like it's time to evolve to a different thing on the show to adapt to fit 2022 AEW. It's kind of like saying I agree if you phrase it like I agree with that. Yeah, think about the new generation era WWF talents who were outdated acts when the Attitude Era happened, and so they had to adjust their gimmicks to fit the mold of the current company. It's the same idea, in my opinion. I think that a lot of the Year One AEW acts they felt they
the
fit
Brian
the
James
tone.
switch up was crazy.
What do you say?
So the Brian James switch up was crazy.
That's what I'm saying. A lot of these guys are still on the show. Like they could still be viable people on the show. I just think that they might have to switch up to fit the tone of current AEW because you know what I'm saying. And so the Dark Order is another example. Like I feel like they're spinning their wheels a little bit. You know, a lot of those early acts of AEW. You know, I think for them it's like, and that's why Statlander is switching up. I think a lot of them they've reached the natural end of their lifespan in the forms that they were presented in. And for a lot of them, I think they need to look into adjusting to fit the current environment of AEW.
Of course, reinvention.
I'm with you, to be honest. I think there is definitely some of the acts that are a little bit more, a lot more of the sillier acts, to be honest. That I'm starting to feel that with, like you mentioned, obviously Jurassic Express. You know, like if you look at Jurassic Express as an act, it's like, where's Marco's stunt? You know, I feel like that is a good sign of where they're at, because not that long ago that would have never have happened. You know, it's tough, man. Obviously, you got to freshen some things up. Maybe it's time for, I don't know, Hollywood Jack Perry, give him a fade. You know,
I don't know, man. Whatever it is, I just think it's for a lot of them. It's just like it's time to go in a different direction, and that's why.
I mean, the Luchasaurus act, I think, is coming to an end. I think I agree with that. And I think that considering he's a big guy that can move, I mean, you can really use him in many different ways.
He can be anything. He can be not anything, but he can
be a lot of different things.
There are a lot of things you can do with a six guy that can move.
That doesn't involve being a fucking dinosaur. So
there's a reason repackaging exists in wrestling. It's not a bad thing, in my opinion.
Yes, definitely. So next up, we had Wardlow defeats Lance Archer in, which I thought was a very well put together match. Lance Archer gave him a lot. Lance Archer is he's one of the sleepers of the men's division, I think. When
100%.
He just seems very underappreciated. Like I said, he made Wardlow look incredible, and that's not to take anything away from Wardlow. He was also incredible in this, but like I said, Archer gave him a lot. They started off by literally sprinting Hurricanrana from Wardlow. Then he threw him into the corner, started doing loads. He's so athletically impressive. Then they just started clubbing each other, man. They just started laying them in. Then, Archer gave him so much, and those 4 power bombs at the end were like the crowd. You can't miss with those power bombs at the moment. Like, he's genuinely one of the most over acts in AEW / in the entire business.
Them building up Wardlow from the guy who did the weekly squash match, like I believe over like the beginning of the year to now where he's now from winning the ladder match and now facing MJF. I mean, Wardlow's been perfectly booked. Like I can say he's been perfectly booked.
They've done a tremendous job with him, and it's the great part about it is they've done a tremendous job with him, and he's essentially a ground up homegrown wrestler for AEW. So he's living proof of like a success story, and I think that's partially why Tony Khan was so motivated to really kind of do well with him, because it's like, you know,
he's a WWE style guy that like you'd mostly see in the WWE. He's not the kind of guy you think of when you think of like the AEW.
Sure, and he's still gotten over, and he's gotten over despite not really being a big name outside of AEW. He's one of the guys you point to when you want to put over the star making process of AEW.
100%.
Yeah, I want to say about Archer something. He feels like a guy who's because this is just what naturally happens in a business. You know what I mean? You get to a certain age, you've served your purpose in a certain role in the promotion, and they start to kind of position you almost as a gatekeeper, as a guy who puts other people over. And it feels like they're naturally starting to do that with Archer, but he's performing in a way where he's almost forcing them to not put him in that spot yet. Does that make sense? It almost feels like it feels like they want to put him in a certain spot, and he's doing so well in the time that he's given that it's almost like every time you see Archer, you're like, nah, this guy still should be a player.
Yeah, definitely. And he's
AEW's Kane. I think you can heat him up to be part of a main event match. He's never really going to win the title, but he's always going to be in the contention. He's always going to be looking strong, and he's going to put over the guys when you need him to.
Absolutely. I think that is so important for a wrestling company. I think every wrestling company should have a monster who's kept credible enough that he, takes down people, but ultimately he makes like your pushed baby faces look great when you beat him. It's why I never thought WWE should have let go of Braun Strowman, because in my mind, he's the type of guy that like Braun Breaker should like spear and beat on the way to winning a title or something, for example.
You have WWS Kane, TNA always said Abyss, and now AEW has Archer. It's perfect.
Yeah, and to your point, Montel, like, the layout of this match was really good because, the question has always been like, what happens to Wardlow when he has to work past 2 minutes and he has to do more than power bombs? And I think he's shown that like he can actually wrestle longer than 2 minutes. It's just that like what's really over in his act is the powerbomb symphony, so they're just keeping it to that. My thing is this: he's athletic enough to show, like when he did the Rana, like that was so nice, and he did the Swanton.
He hit it perfect.
Yeah, my thing is like they have to make a decision now, because here's the thing. They can, like AEW, like they're not restrictive in their match layouts and like what they're allowed to do and not do. So realistically, he can get to a point where like the coaches work with him and he can probably have a 15-minute match. But the way the trajectory is going, I almost envision him working like a Brian Cage type of dude, where he's just a big man moves guy. And I don't totally know if I love that, if that makes any sense. You know what I'm saying? Like I don't know. Like I feel like
Brian Cage is very.
I think that
he's very hit and miss for me. Brian Cage is very hit and miss. Like,
I've
watched some of his matches. Sometimes I think it was either earlier this year or late last year. The match that he had on a Warrior Wrestling show with Will Ospreay. That match was legitimately like 4.5 star upwards. Like that was a great world title main event match. So then obviously there's other times where we can look a bit like clunky.
I guess my point. What I'm making is, I don't hate the big man moves wrestler template. I don't hate it at all. I love Keith Lee, but my thing is, I don't know if I want that for Wardlow. Is my point, because like picture this right now, Montel. Amanda Batista did like moonsaults. Wouldn't that be fucking weird?
Yeah, weird. I think I'm with you in that sense. I think I'm with you there, to be fair.
Yeah, and then the second thing is, and again, I'm not taking anything away from this match because I thought this was a really well done match, but I took notice of the fact that the crowd didn't really make much noise until Wardlow did the power bombs, and I think what AEW is going to have to monitor and maybe have to figure out is, when Wardlow's in the angles where he's busting into the arena, they're going nuts, right? When he's beating up security, they're going nuts. When he's doing the power bombs, they're going nuts. But when he's just kind of wrestling, it's almost like they're just waiting for him to do the thing that they want him to do. And what they're going to have to figure out is, how do we channel the excitement that people feel when Wardlow does these other things? How do we get them to care that much when he's wrestling? Because his wrestling is not bad. Like I'm seeing it right now. Like he could, I can see a trajectory and a path for him to have long, good matches. Like some guys, it's like, oh man, you got to really protect them and really, really be careful. But with him, like I can see him. I'm not that worried with Wardlow. But the question is, how do you make them care about the extra stuff? So it's just something to monitor.
I think they'll figure it all out, to be honest.
I'm sure they're doing a great job.
Especially like with like that match with MJF, like that's going to be hot all the way through.
100%.
That'll be a nice foundation for them to build up in terms of giving these matches a bit more meat with the crowd. But yeah, like I said, he's the man. He's going right to the top. That is literally what. Like as soon as he started the Powerbomb Symphony, I think I text Joe literally straight away saying this guy is going straight to the top, man. Like, there's nothing anyone can do about it.
Have you ever seen big man Powerbomb?
WWE, like he's going to the top. Like,
bro, the craziest thing is, have you seen other big men Powerbomb big man? Like usually they don't really get them. No, that's what I'm saying. They usually don't get them up that high like they do with the small guy. But Wardlow had no problem just getting this dude Archer up.
He was hyped, bro. He was fired up. You could see it on his face, like the facial expressions when he was about to hit him were all great. Like he wrestled. He was perfect in this. Really, you can't really flaw anything that he did, and so was Archer. To be honest, it was
good piece of business.
A great sprint, a great piece of business. Like Hollywood just said, really really nothing bad to say about it. I don't know what I'd give it as a star rating because I don't really do star ratings often, and I think it would be quite a hard match to give a star rating because sprints are always hard to do.
Yes.
So yeah, man, like well put together, well executed. Wardlow's going to the top. Archer probably deserves a bit more credit than he gets.
Yes.
Big thumbs up. Big thumbs up.
And one thing I wanted to say real quick.
Go ahead.
Thanks everyone for having me on. I have to bow out. Unfortunately, I need to bow out now. But I wanted to say thank you for having me on. Thanks, Hangman, for dealing with my Mark opinions. And hopefully I can be back soon. And
man.
Next time, I promise I won't look like Edge.
No. You got to keep it, bro. You got to keep this.
Yeah, it's your gimmick now, bro.
In fact, next show you have to wear Edge's shades.
I'm not gonna do that. And I'll see you guys.
Yeah, man. Peace,
all right, bro. He did the Scorpio thing. Oh my god.
So yeah, let's go. I know you're kind of pressed for time as well. So we will.
I am. So I'm gonna try to run through some of this too. I think we could fit the rest within 20 minutes, roughly.
Yeah, easy.
So we'll just
it's just knowing that we've got 20 minutes, so we can't spend 15 minutes talking about this next segment now. So Jericho Appreciation Society, sit down with Eddie Kingston and Santana. This was, and especially the afters to this with the fireball, etc. Like, I love this parody that Jericho is doing. I've loved every single thing. Yeah, every single thing he's done since his feud with Eddie Kingston, and I've loved it. And it's funny because going into this feud with Eddie Kingston, a lot of people were saying like, "Yo, I'm worried about like where Jericho's at. Is Jericho washed now? Jericho's doing a lot of like stuff that I don't like at the moment, etc., etc." A lot of fans were saying that, and a lot of it was fair criticism. But man, like I said, like he's doing genuinely some of my favorite stuff at the moment. Like this parody shit that he's doing at the sports entertainment is fucking hilarious, bro. Then you throw Eddie Kingston into it as well. You throw Eddie Kingston into it as the guy that you're feuding with, and it's just
perfect stuff. Because at the end of the day, Jericho, a lot of what Jericho does on TV feels like doing him doing WWE style shit on Dynamite anyway. So now for him to just lean into it in a way to just kind of parody and get heat is perfect. And couple that with the fact that he's feuding with a guy who is just the antithesis of that type of presentation. It's perfect because in real life Eddie can't stand that shit. Eddie Kingston in this segment was like when there's tables and chairs in the ring and they're sitting and it looks like a contract signing. He literally said like I hate this. I hate all of this, and like I believe him.
Definitely.
His skin probably crawls. Him standing there feeling like he's on Monday Night Raw.
Yeah, and it's like I love what Jericho did when Kingston really got in his face and started laying it in verbally to Jericho. When Jericho, he sold that he looked worried. It's little things like that.
You know what I think it is, man? I think not only Jericho did he sell it, I think he legitimately, I think that a piece of him, because Eddie's a bit of a provocateur. I think Eddie legitimately made him feel a little uneasy. Him just getting in his face like that.
And when he slapped the mic out of his hand, even though it was Jericho's line, like Jericho was meant to do his line that he was meant to do anyway. You could tell because there was an awkward pause where Jericho got to get his mic back.
Yes,
Eddie was fired up, man. And he said it in interviews. It really is just like him tapping into that more fired up side to him. So then after this, we had Jericho Appreciation Society. They attacked Eddie Kingston, Santana Ortiz in the car park, and Jericho, in one of the greatest moments in AEW history, he hit Eddie Kingston with a fireball, which I thought was I pumped my fist. I said, "This is sports entertainment."
Oh my god, did you?
It was I loved it. Like I said, I just love this parody shit because it's genuinely funny, man. And with wrestling, it's
AEW Galaxy, man. We got AEW.
Yeah,
like I wish it was straight up AEW Universe. That would have been so funny. But AEW Galaxy is good too.
I like the Galaxy, but like I said, we're big fans of Chris Jericho, the sports entertainer. He's killing it right now. Eddie Kingston, I hope he's a world champ one day. I absolutely adore the guy. Santana and Ortiz, I hope they find success very soon. Hopefully they get a tag title reign at some point this year. I love them, especially as characters. They're great in the ring as well. Jeff Pot, Cool Hand Angelo Parker, and Matt Menard. Absolutely love the pair of them.
Daddy Magic.
Yeah, then obviously Daniel Garcia. You can slowly see his confidence starting to grow more that he's with Jericho. Because he has to. You have to. Like he can't be that same guy. But Jericho's not going to let him do that, man. Like, he's going to have to. Like,
you have to kind of put his feet to the fire and see if he can grow, because otherwise, then there's no point in doing this.
Yeah. So then next up we had video package from Sammy Guevara and Scorpio. Yeah, video package helping up Sammy Guevara and Scorpio Sky. Like I said earlier on in the show, I like it when they do these connective tissue for the main event. It just makes it feel a bit more special. This was good. Then after that, we had a backstage promo with MJF and Sean Spears. MJF says he has a plan. He makes a call that we then, which we see unfold on screen, and he says, "Hey, big man, ask how much you would like to make. If you'd like to make 6 figures to wrestle one match, obviously, assumably against Wardlow." And it seems like the guy who is on the phone to accepted the offer. And MJF says something about
he's 7 foot tall and
he's bigger than Wardlow, stronger than Wardlow, he's taller than Wardlow, and you can't teach that or something like that. Which it makes it pretty obvious who it's going to be. Yeah. W. Morrissey / Big Cass, huge dude in phenomenal shape. Definitely going to have some sort of physical presence. May even make Wardlow look a little small because he's bigger than Archer. He's a huge dude.
He's a huge guy.
I find it's an interesting choice, especially to go after Archer. Like I was
gonna say,
that's the level up.
W. Morrissey being the next level up of Archer is hilarious.
Yeah, it's a choice, but we'll see how it goes. You never know. It could,
It'll be fine. It'll be fine.
Then next week got a House of Black segment, which was the House of Black drag Fuego del Sol onto the stage. It looks like they're about to unmask him, and then there is a figure in the ring who appears to be Alex Abrahantes cutting a promo, and he's distracting the House of Black. The House of Black make their way to the ring. Then Penta makes his entrance, and he's at the top of the stage. And Pac then joins him to a huge pop. Then Alex Abrahantes appears out of the tunnel, which then gives away that it's not him in the ring. And then we get the return of Rey Fenix, who happens to be the figure in the ring. And it looks like we got Death Triangle back, and they're about to go into a big time trios match with the House of Black, which I'm sure they won't miss him. Man, it should be very, very, very solid work during this feud. The only question I'd have, and it's not really a big deal because he's not exactly one of them more prominent stars, but what do you do with Fuego now? Like, does he what happens now? Does that just kind of get pushed to the side, or what do we do here? But good stuff.
You can always burn through that match on a Rampage or something.
Yeah, of course. It's just weird.
In regards to this whole situation, everything that took place after Fuego being dragged into the ring by 3 men, I actually actively hated with every fiber of my existence. Like, I really, really, really did not like it. This, the supposed Abrahantes in the ring while you hear his voice on the loudspeaker. I can't get past Alex Abrahantes as their mouthpiece. I think.
It's never. People like him though, bro. It's weird. Like, he's never really connected with me either. I don't hate the guy.
I don't have anything against. I don't have anything. Yeah, I don't. That's the thing, dude. Frankly, I don't think Penta even needs a translator. What is Penta saying that's so important, so life changing, so just mind-blowing and edifying intellectually that it needs to be translated? He's just saying puto madre and cero miel. Like, bro, let him just talk his shit in Spanish and you move on. What do we need to know from Penta? Like really, to me, like, I don't. When he was his regular Alex with Penta, it was fine. It was a cute little gimmick. But once they kind of became the Death Triangle and he became Pento Oscuro, it really didn't work for me. Like Alex with the cloak and acting all ghoulish and stuff. It doesn't work for me.
You're like me in that sense. Like you're not big into the lore shit.
Well,
I've said I don't hate it all the time, but I don't hate lore stuff all the time. But when it's done like this and it's kind of like corny and it's just like it's not me, bro.
Yeah, that's the thing. It turns into like what LARPing is, bro.
You'll have to explain that.
Live action role play.
Okay.
It's like nerds. Like it's a thing that nerds do where they'll just like play out like fantasy like scenes and shit like in their like backyards and gardens and stuff and just fucking. This is LARPing to me. The thing about lore stuff is, I don't mind if you want to get really weird on wrestling television, but it has to be cool. This is very, very dorky, in my opinion. Like they look like they look like they got dressed from Party City, which I doubt Party City exists in London or in the UK, but it's the place where you get Halloween costumes from over here. They look like they got their costumes from Party City, and this whole situation just feels like a bunch of dudes from Comic-Con just like LARPing. Like that's what it looks like to me.
Someone's sending shots in the chat. I'm gonna put it on the screen because it popped me.
Okay, let me see. Somebody said, if it was Jonathan Gresham being Death Triangle's translator, you'd love it. I'd hate it even more. That's something WWE would do if they had all four guys. Actually, they would take the short black man and say like, be the quirky translator manager.
Yeah, it'd be some tough stuff. But
to me, I feel like if you're gonna have this dark, macabre, ghoulish, whatever you want to call it, stable like the House of Black, if you want to get weird and out there, then like, why don't you be provocative and really test the boundaries of television? Like fucking burn a dude's leg on television. I don't know, just get fucking weird. I swear to God, bro. Burn Fuego alive on television. Do something really just
get
provocative and crazy and chilling. Have them cut promos on like the roof of a building where like they just like I don't know, they just something nuts. Kidnap one of these guys and like put incantations on them or some shit. And like what, bro, just get like that's what I'm saying. Like, but this whole like lights on, lights off, purple lighting, shovels, Batman horns. It's super cringy and dorky and kind of corny in my opinion. And it's unfortunate in the sense that I think that all six guys in this feud are tremendous wrestlers.
Yes.
And ultimately, the trios match that these guys are going to have is probably going to be a match of the year candidate. But getting there with just some of this just like live action Pokemon is just not for me.
Fair. I think I can pretty much back up everything you said. Then next up we had backstage interview with Darby and Swerve. They're going to be having a match for an Owen Hart qualifier.
That's going to be a good one.
That'll be a good one, of course. Obviously, they have some history. They have had some bangers on the indies, etc., etc. If you haven't seen them, I'd recommend going to watch one of their.
In Defy.
Is it Defy? Yeah, in Defy. Yeah, that'll be some good stuff. A match to look forward to. Next, we had the Super Elite defeated the Varsity Blondes, Dante Martin, Lee Moriarty, and Brock Anderson. There wasn't really much to this, to be honest.
I don't remember this match, and I have no opinion on anything that happened here.
Exactly. It was just kind of like, it was a way to give the Super Elite a win. So they could do the angle at the end where, they tried to show the unity with the T-shirts, but the Young Bucks looked unsure. That was kind of the whole point of the whole thing, really. Obviously, it was nice to get all the Young Bucks on, well, I say the Young Bucks, but literally the younger guys. Some of the younger guys on TV, of course, that's nice. Always good to see Lee Moriarty, especially. But yeah, there wasn't really too much to say about it, to be honest. No. Next, we had the actual backstage segment where Jericho hits Kingston with a fireball. We've already gone over that. It was art. Then we got a video package hyping up Samoa Joe, who will be defending his ROH television title against Trent Beretta in a match that will definitely pop me huge. I'll probably give it roughly around 5.75 stars. Absolutely love both guys. Yeah, not really. Like I said, not too much to say about it. It's a match that's happening soon. I'm sure I can talk for Hollywood as well when I say that. I'm sure he is anticipating a great match out of this one too. Then yeah, we've got the main event. So we'll spend the last 5 minutes or however long we've got left with Hollywood to talk about this main event. Yeah. Scorpio Sky defeats Sammy Guevara for the TNT Championship in a ladder match.
Yeah.
Your thoughts?
When I thought about this match, I thought less of it when I thought about it. Like after the fact. But I'd be lying if I said it wasn't good in the moment entertainment as I was watching it. Because I did find this entertaining. I thought that I thought that it was well laid out in the sense that like Sammy played his role very well. He's really good. Like nobody can debate this at this point. He's way better as a heel than he is a babyface. He's just so annoying and grating and so obnoxious with him and the way he's making out with Ty Conti and stuff. And obviously they want to really get that whole Paige Van Zandt Conti thing over and get it going. And it got over in the building when they were fighting with each other. It got over and it looked good. Like the punching and brawling between the ladies, it looked good. Like sometimes when you get that type of stuff, like it looks really shitty. But that looked good. Like they're punching with each other. Like it was definitely serviceable.
We skipped the Sheeta.
Yeah,
Sheeta Deeb as well. Where's Sheeta Deeb on the roundup?
Oh my God! Yeah, I forgot. Well, to be frank with it,
we'll get to it.
I could say it right now. I didn't have much to say about it. I thought it was just a good wrestling match between two women that worked hard, but I really didn't have much feelings on anything I was saying.
Yeah, I think that's fair as well. Like we probably wouldn't, even if we didn't. Like I completely missed it when I was scrolling past the results. Probably would have kicked myself, so I'm happy someone brought it up in the chat. But to be fair, there wasn't too much to say about it. You've got two genuinely the best workers in the division, and they had a Texas Death Match, and it was a blow off. And because we've seen Sheeta Deeb so many times, it's like, it was kind of like how were they going to make it a bit more interesting? I think they've done that. I feel like they did kind of do that and added some new elements to it. Deeb got the win. Deeb is probably we had Thunder Rosa. She was watching from the back. That probably seems like the logical thing for Deeb to do next. I'm sure Deeb and Rosa will have a great match and a great feud. Well, I hope they do. I hope they give them both some good TV time in the lead up to the match. Yeah, man. But back to the main event.
Yeah, I thought it was entertaining. The thing is, like, the more I thought about it, I realized that like there was like really absolutely no psychology in the sense that like Sammy Guevara sold nothing, man. He did a 6:30. We go to commercial, and coming out of commercial, like he's just up doing another spot.
Oh, he's crazy. Like even the finish was Sammy's gonna at the end of the day, Sammy Guevara is gonna Sammy's gonna Sammy. Like that's what he's gonna whatever. Like you either like it or you don't, you know what I mean? I'm not going to get too much into my thoughts on him as an overall act, person, etc. But Sammy's going to Sammy. But the only thing that I majorly rolled my eyes at was when he took that bump off the ladder onto the barbed wire ladder.
And he was back.
Then still made another attempt to get up the ladder by springboarding off the ropes onto the ladder, like something someone would do fresh in the first minute of a match. Just to do a failed attempt. Just for a failed attempt, bro. Like it wasn't needed whatsoever.
Yeah.
So it was just stupid, man. It was just
the barbed wire could have been the last bump.
Yeah, it should have been 100% because then Scorpio Sky, all he did was push him off, and he was just
so what was the point of the leapfrog, really?
It was a fun match. The Paige Van Zandt and Tay bits, they got over huge. Hopefully the tag match is a big hit as well. It was great to see Scorpio win. Yeah. It's great to see Scorpio get the belt back. And just to touch on this real quickly before we get off here, a lot of people have complained about the TNT being kind of like a hot potato at the moment. And that is more than a fair criticism, especially when you look at the prestige that Miro, Darby, even Brody in his short reign give the title. Like I said, the TNT title, even though it always has been a TV title, and sometimes you kind of dismiss TV titles like, it's just a TV title, which is fair. But the TNT title started to feel like a bit more than that. Especially with the Miro reign, then, kind of all the hot potato winners killed some of the prestige. But in defense of AEW, it has achieved what they wanted to do with two of their characters. They wanted to turn Sammy heel, and the way that they wanted to turn Sammy heel. They've done that well. Even with the Cody stuff when he wasn't a heel, it's like Sammy Guevara was definitely better off after that ladder match with Cody.
I suppose
you're always going to be better off when you have a match that good, I suppose. Even though I didn't give it quite 5 stars like Dave Meltzer did, it was still a memorable TV main event going over a top star as well. So yeah, like obviously there was that. Then, like I said, when Sammy Guevara, you know, when he beat Scorpio Sky and turned heel, that got Scorpio Sky more over because people genuinely were like, okay, Scorpio's been fucked over for this guy that they've always been pushing and stuff like that, always been prominent. A lot of people went into last night's match thinking that Scorpio was going to lose again. So when we got into especially when we got into those last few moments of the match, the building really came up for him. And at the end of the day, Scorpio Sky is most likely turning face very soon. And right now, at that moment last night when he grabbed the belt, that is the most over he has ever been in AEW.
In his entire career. Yeah.
So yeah, man. Like Doc said, I get, you know, of course, the cons of it is that it has killed the prestige of the belt, and it hasn't completely killed it, but it's definitely hurt it a lot. I'm not disputing that, and I'm not saying that's worth the character development that it's caused as well. But I can see why they've done it. I don't necessarily agree with it, but I can see where they're coming from with why they've done this hot potato win. Hopefully now Scorpio Sky can have a lengthy reign, and we can start building up that prestige again. Hopefully.
In my opinion, I actually don't mind the quick title switch because I've actually been advocating for AEW to experiment with that type of thing because otherwise it gets monotonous if every person's title reign of every belt is like 6 months plus. In my opinion, I think it's fine to experiment with different length title reigns, especially plus it's good for shock value and making title matches feel unpredictable on television. To me, I think what hurts the TNT title's prestige, frankly, is actually the fact that it's the fact that it's involved in a feud that to me for most of it was just not one of the hotter things on the show. So for me, that's what kills it. In that, like when I think about what are the most important things going on in AEW, Scorpio Sky and Sammy Guevara's program is not like a top 3 to 4 thing. And I'd prefer the belt being involved in a top 3 to 4 thing on the show. Yeah, so that's what hurt the prestige. But with that said, I agree. I agree with what you said. Like I don't mind the quick switch. I get why they did the double turn. It makes sense. We'll see what happens here. I think, frankly, I don't want Scorpio as the champ long term. I'd rather it just be on one of the more upper level guys. But
yeah, that's fair.
But at the same time, I feel like Tony Khan doesn't want to do Scorpio dirty because otherwise he would have kind of left him in the wayside and just kind of, not followed through on this whole storyline. So so it feels like him doing a make good to Scorpio and at least kind of doing right by him, to so to speak. And I respect that. So I'm fine with it for now. And yeah, man, I thought they accomplished what they set out to do with the main event.
Perfect. Just because it's in the thumbnail, I want to spend like literally 1 minute talking about it, 2 minutes, however long you've got. Athena,
I got like seconds. Oh yes, the Athena thing. Shit, that really deserves a deep dive. But I'll say what I can. Go ahead.
Yeah, we'll just give our kind of overarching thoughts on it, kind of like our final thoughts on it. So Athena made some comments. She basically summarized how her experience through her eyes, how that went in WWE before she got released. She voiced frustrations about creative and how they split her up with Shotzi, and apparently they were going to turn her heel, and they wanted her to do a losing streak to turn her heel, so she was putting over all this young talent. Then nothing really came of it. She voiced her opinions about how when the NXT 2.0 change came and the whole directive change, how there was meetings where the women's were told to wear more revealing stuff that she was unhappy with. She was asked to be a coach and she didn't want to do that. She said she'd also made some comments about some of the PC talent, saying that she doesn't feel like they're passionate and they're just there for a check. Yeah, man, like I said, like I literally just said, she told her truth, how it was in her experience. it was a very honest interview that she did. If you want to read more of it, it is on the WrestlePurists website, as we have got the quotes on there if you want to check it out. But it is very interesting. And at the end of the day, I do feel like Athena kind of, as long as she is telling the truth, and I feel like she doesn't really have any reason to lie with the things that she brought up, she has every right to kind of feel the way that she feels. And it's kind of just, and none of it was surprising. It's just WWE.
No, absolutely not.
So,
to me, anybody who is surprised by anything in that interview wasn't really paying attention. You know, I mean, people came at Tegan Knox for essentially saying that like the WWE was, in a lot of ways, was reverting to the Divas division, and I'm like, why are people getting mad at her? She's like, watch the television, you know.
We both watch it too. We both actually watch NXT 2.0. I know a lot of people in our little Twitter circle don't watch it, but you know, we do get a little pop out of it, and I think we find it more interesting to see how these talents are developing. So yeah, man, they really have.
Here's what I'll say, man. I just, you know, she had every right to be upset and want to leave. You know what I mean? Because it's like, it's another WWE case of miscommunications and being promised things and told things and then it's not followed up on, because it's like they're telling her Vince wants you to dye your hair and get the contacts and be the old Ember, and then the next Vince directive is, oh, you're off TV indefinitely. Like, of course it's going to be frustrating. You know what I mean? It's like, you brought me back down to developmental to just revitalize my character and get back up, and now you're taking my tag partner from me, and then you're not following up on the storyline, and then you're taking me off TV. Like, yeah, you know, I understand her being frustrated. And in regards to the sexuality aspect of it, you know, my take on it is this, real quick. You know, many women can and will be comfortable with embracing being sexy on television, but that doesn't mean that should be for everybody at all. You know, 100%. The world we live in, like, I'm aware sex sells, and that's why ultimately, like, no matter what they'll tell you, we all know all these promoters, they want to get attractive women on their show, any wrestling show, but it doesn't work for everybody, and not everybody's in the business for that. And so, yes, you can have a Mandy Rose, but that doesn't mean you have to make everybody into that. And WWE, they want to always fit square pegs in round holes. With men, it's being a certain size, a certain body type, working a certain way. And with women, it's being the pretty girl. And frankly, the strangest part about it is, because that's the recruitment process, it's leading to like a lot of samey people. Because like actively in NXT, I feel like there's a new blonde woman every week. And like at some point, it's like, how many Tiffany Strands do we need? You know, how many Tiffany Strands do we need? How many Mandy Roses do we need?
It kills what they're trying to do as well, because like, you know, it washes out the other, you know, blonde white women that have like. So you mentioned Tiffany Stratton. I don't actually think she's that bad. I think she's actually.
I don't have a problem with her either.
Yeah, I think she's actually coming along pretty well as like an NXT 2.0 female talent. Obviously, she's not going out there and killing it every week in the ring, but you know, she's a confident speaker. She has a certain presence about herself, and like I said, even in ring, like, she's still very green and stuff. But she's coming along.
That's my thing. That's my thing. See, one of the problems with this conversation is like there's a lack of nuance, and people think that it should be one way or the other. Some people think like to me, I don't mind there's nothing wrong with a Carmella type character or a Tiffany Stratton type character in a vacuum, in my opinion. It's just that you really shouldn't be forcing people to all be a certain way, and especially if they're not comfortable with doing it. Ember Moon, that's not her thing. She's a wrestler, and that's fine. Find a role for her where you can use her talents to the best of her abilities. A Tiffany Stratton, I can see her becoming something. I see, you know, and a lot of these women that they're recruiting, some of them I could see a path where they get over and they figure it out, but it shouldn't be one blanket way for everybody. And so she's totally fine, and it's totally fair for her to, you know, not really fuck with it and want to go. And so the bottom line, and the last thing I have to say about that is just, you know, she's a good wrestler, and I wish her nothing but the best. You know. By the way, the other thing is when it comes to her coaching, right? Like I've seen people say like, how could WWE say that? It's pretty obvious to me. Have you not noticed what they do? The people who don't fit their vision, but they know that they're good at like working, they basically say, hey, you teach our chosen ones to do what you do. You know what I'm saying? It's like, okay, we don't like Ember Moon, just Ember Moon as a whole, but she can work. So, but we do like Tiffany Stratton or whoever. So hey, teach her how to do what you do because we like her. This is what they do.
It's like I said, it was. I think even though some of the stuff she said was just like, you know, nobody deserves to kind of like go through that.
No,
regardless of what you think of her as a performer or not, I genuinely think she is genuinely like one of the best US women's in-ring workers of the past, however many years you want to call it. I think she's great. I genuinely hope she figures something out and she's on national TV again soon, whether that's AEW or, of course, well, there's only WWE and AEW, and it seems like she's not going anywhere near WWE anytime soon. So, you know, I think she could be a brilliant addition to the AEW women's division. But at the same time, even what she's doing now, I see highlights or I hear about a great Athena match quite often since she's left WWE. To be honest, she's main event in independent shows as well, which I think is great for a woman to do. It's great for women's wrestling. It's great for a star who's a woman like that to do that on the independents.
I wouldn't be opposed to her and Thunder Rosa running back their Warrior match on a bigger stage.
100%. That would be. I love that match. I love that match. I love the Athena playing the heel. It was great stuff, man. So
ultimately, man, I wish nothing but the best for Athena. I think anybody who does give her weird energy, they're the people who are defensive of any criticism towards WWE. But you got to call a spade, and I don't think anything she said, like, even if you weren't there backstage in these situations, just watch the programming and it's clear what's going on. Dynamite was a good show. And yeah, man, Montel, thank you so much for having me on, bro.
Yeah, you got anything you want to plug before we get out of here?
Follow me at Backup Hangman on Twitter. That's at Backup Hangman. Tonight, at some point, I'm going to be watching WrestleMania 23, and that's going to be next up on my review series, which is cool because I haven't seen that show in a while. So stay tuned for that. Follow me at Backup Hangman. Follow Follow PW Musings. That's the other group that I am affiliated with. It's a stat-based wrestling group that does that analyzes and breaks down the analytics and numbers side of wrestling and stats. So if you're into that stuff, check it out. They do a lot of strong work there. So again, follow PW Musings. Follow me at Backup Hangman, and I'll probably be back on with you guys maybe either Monday or next Thursday. We'll see. My in real life, outside of work life, is clearing up a little bit. So, you know, expect to see more of me.
Yeah, well, you know the door's always open for you, bro. I'm always happy to have you on.
And with things clearing up, hopefully I will be more on time. And
oh wow, yeah, that would obviously
be wonderful, right? Yeah, listen, man, face reveal coming in soon. Just donate to my Patreon. For every $50, I will consider maybe showing a piece of my face on camera, and you know.
But yeah, man, if you guys can do the usual, like, subscribe, comment, all that good stuff. Visit us at WrestlePurists. Go read a feature. Backup Hangman himself has got features on there. There's loads of talented writers.
Let's write a new one.
Yeah, you probably should. Probably. You know,
maybe.
Like I said, when you've got the time, bro.
Absolutely.
Never any doors always open for you to do
100%
features, whatever you want to do with us.
Totally. We got a great team, so definitely support the site.
Yeah, man. So yeah, support the site, WrestlePurists.com. Support the channel, like, subscribe, comment, etc. Give us a follow on Twitter at WrestlePurists. And yeah, have a great day, everyone. Peace.